right? A lot of people don't have the luxuries that you have here in America. So like Kim said, it's not to make you feel guilty and for you to give up your bed and to sleep on the, no, that's not what the point is. The point is, man, think about how blessed you are, and then think about what God maybe wants to do through you to bless other people. All right, and so essentially you're going to see that the same format happens each day. That intro, read, reflect, and respond section. And we just want to encourage you to take a part of the journey, to dive into it. If you miss a day, it's okay. Jump back into it the next day. Don't feel guilty there. And I really just want to encourage you to do this together as a family, because this is a great thing that you can do to teach your sons and daughters about what biblical faith and Christianity looks like when it comes to taking care of the poor and those who are in need. All right, thanks.
Thanks, guys. So that's just one of the ways that we hope to just raise our awareness as a church. I hope you can be a part of that. With all the days or some of the days, it's a great way to train up our families. And I just want to thank our students for what God did through them to kind of get that going. It was all them. So yeah, God for that. The Samaritan, he looks and he sees, he feels, and his feelings prompt him to act. Write this down. We stop, look, and feel, and then we do something. We do something. It's not enough just to think, hey, that would be a great idea, and not do it. Like I used to drive home from work when I lived in Dallas, and I would pass a flower shop. And there were days when I'd be like, oh, it'd be a great idea for me to get a dozen roses for Eleanor and really show her I love her. But then I would start to try to get over in traffic, and a car would cut me off, and so I'd get up the stoplight, and I couldn't get in the turn lane to go back around the median, and I'd just say, I'm not going to do that. And then I'd go home, and I'd do this, fellas. Don't do this at home. Hey, Eleanor, I love you so much that today I'd passed the flower shop, and I thought about getting you flowers. And I thought that would count for something. You know what that counted for? That counted for me telling her that I didn't think enough of her to stop and get her the flowers. It didn't win me or, accomplish anything in our relationship. Great intentions are simply that. They're just great intentions. They don't count. With me? And so we can stop, look and feel, see everything, but then we got to act. We got to do something. I'm so glad that we're a part of a church that when we raise the banner and we say, hey, we need to go and serve here and provide here, this church does. 4 years ago, we initiated a Feed the Bay thing at our church that has now become a regional experience for, over 30 churches in our community. Isn't that great? We have I Am Hope Cafe, where we serve every Tuesday night in conjunction with other churches in our area. We have Meet the Need that we are a part of just a couple weeks ago. Several, people gave their resources and time and their skills to making a difference in families' homes around our community here on a Saturday, and that was awesome. Thursday, we had a Thanksgiving dinner here, and we had almost 3 times as many volunteers as we had people to feed. It was just one of those days, Like we throw it out, and people are like, I'm there! And they just want to do something. We love that about our church. But we want to see more and more do-somethings happening. Like it shouldn't be that in your life you have to wait for the church to come up with a great idea for you to do something. It should just be something that we're pre-programmed. We stop, we see things through God's lenses, and we know that this is me. It doesn't have to be sanctioned by the church or organized, by the greater community churches. It's just, this is me, and I need to go and make a difference in this area. Whatever it is that God leads you to, just do something. And then, as the Samaritan's experience goes on, we learn that we need to give something. We need to give something. The Samaritan, it tells us, came to the inn, and he put 2 pieces of silver in the innkeeper's hand. And in putting those 2 pieces of silver, there's been a lot of debate about how much that actually was in that day. When we go into our pockets and we pull out 2 pieces of silver, it's 50 cents, typically, right? Which isn't a huge hit on most of us. That's a gumball. Remember when gumballs were like a quarter or a nickel? Anyway, I digress. But 50 cents is not what we're talking about here. In fact, those 2 pieces of silver, scholars are kind of debated that it's either 2 weeks' wages or 2 months' wages. But either way, it's a lot of money. Agreed? You're going to take your 2-week check and just throw it to a complete stranger that you strapped to your donkey and put it into a hotel? And that's what he did. And here's what Jesus was teaching the crowd. He says, listen, everything you have, you don't really have. Everybody look at me. Think about all the stuff you have. You thinking about it? You see it? You know how much money you got in your wallet, fellas? I always do, except when my wife takes it. You know how much you have? All right, think about everything you have, and then tell yourself this: I don't really have it. Here's what I mean. We don't have anything. We're just holding on to some stuff that God gave us until He tells us to put where He wants it. Is everybody with me on that? Like a lot of times we get this misconception, this upside down idea that we actually have stuff. We don't have anything except for the grace of our God. And everything that He's given us, we are just stewards of. We're holding on to it until He needs it for something else. Do we understand our stuff in that way? So when He needs it to provide for someone else in need, we're like, okay, that's your stuff. I'll put it over there for you, including my money. And if more Christians functioned under this truth that my stuff isn't really mine, it's just mine to hold on to for whose it really is, then there would be more needs fulfilled in the world. Agreed? There'd be less carts full of trinkets and more bellies full of food. We want to continue to grow in this. My vision is that some year we'll give $1 million to the needy and the poor around our world. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, I still pray for that. I still long for the day. And we're making strides. We're making differences in different parts of the world. And we want to continue to do that. So we've put together something that we think is kind of a little crazy. We call it the $10 challenge. We're going to have a reverse offering today. All right? We're going to let you leave here with our money. The church is going to give you back your offering. How's it go? It's like a money-back guarantee or something. Except not at all. All right. To explain more about that, I'm having my friend Tom come and tell you about it. Everybody welcome Tom Micom to the stage. Come on out, Tom.
Good morning, everyone. This morning, we're going to offer a challenge to go along with the journey. And it's a $10 challenge. At the end of the service, there'll be ushers at actually all the doors that lead out with these envelopes. Inside these envelopes are two things. One is $10, and the other is just kind of an instruction sheet, information sheet. Here's what we're going to ask you to do. Now, $10 isn't for you to go to Starbucks, take your wife to Starbucks later or anything like that. But what we're asking you to do is take the $10 and over the next month, think of a creative way to multiply it. We're setting a goal of $100. And so creative way to invest that money to where it comes back and then give it back to the church, and we'll invest it into different funds all around the world. In fact, you can actually pick where it's going to go. We have on the envelope 5 of our different partners that we're investing with worldwide. One of them on here is Village of Hope. You remember last year at the Journey we did the well and the road, and we raised the money for that. We're hoping that 1,200 people take this challenge. And if you kind of multiply that out, $120,000 potentially come back. And Village of Hope right now, if you were to build one of the houses that house 18 of the kids that are in Uganda, it costs $25,000 to do that. And so if everyone took that challenge and that's the place that they decided to invest it in, that could potentially almost be 5 houses. We have other ones on here too. Zimbabwe Orphanage. This is an orphanage that our student ministry has been supporting for the past, I want to say 4 years. And they're actually the only ones here in the States that are supporting this orphanage. And so our students, through their giving and through their journey, have been able to support this orphanage over the course of the years. And so if that's a place that you want to invest in and be a part of, you can check that one. Providence World Ministries, the orphanage that we support that's in Honduras. This is a great one. We do Providence in a Box, but this is one of our partners as well. Alarm Ministries, which is in Africa and training pastors. Seeds is translating God's Word into native languages so that people can receive God's Word. All that information on each one of these partners is on the back of this sheet, so you as a family can think through and pray through where would we like to see the money that we're sending back be invested in. Now, how do you take $10 and turn it into $100? There's a bunch of different options. Let me give you a couple of them that we share with you.